Call the March 3rd, 2026 Bucyrus City Council meeting to order at 6 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mr. Nee?
Here.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Mr. Thiddle?
Here.
Mr. Moritz?
Here.
Mrs. LeClaire?
Here.
Mr. Spiegel?
Here.
Mr. Scott?
Here.
You have before you the minutes from the regular council meeting from February 17th, 2026. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Mee, second by Mr. Taylor. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. That motion carries. Before I get to the communications and petitions, I do want to just make a little bit of a statement here. There are 5 pieces of legislation that have been requested by committee that are not yet on the agenda this evening. Proposed ordinance 6-2026 cumulative zoning was requested by Plating Committee 40 days ago. The request for legislation form was sent to the law director 35 days ago. I think that's still being processed. Proposed ordinance 10-2026 amending ordinance 1-2026 was requested by the Health and Safety Committee 26 days ago. That request for legislation form was sent to the law director 35 days ago, still being worked on. Proposed ordinance 12-2026, the flood management plan was requested by the Plating Committee 12 days ago. The request for legislation form was sent to the law director 11 days ago. This one had a deadline of February 27th per Mike Keefe, which we obviously were going to miss by a couple of days because this is the first meeting since then, but not having it done tonight, we're now way past the February 27th deadline. Proposed ordinance 13-2026 stormwater drainage fee was requested by the Service Committee 8 days ago. The request for legislation form was sent to the law director 7 days ago. This piece was received by the council clerk at 11:40 a.m. today, but it had errors. These errors could have been fixed in time tonight if it had been sent by last week as requested. Proposed ordinance 14-2026, the solid waste rates, was requested by Service Committee 8 days ago. The request for legislation form was sent 7 days ago. Michelle did also receive this piece at 11:40 a.m. today, and it's fine, but because it and 13-2026 both changed the rate table, this one can't be presented until 13-2026 is correct. So I just want to update everybody on things that the committees have requested that are not yet on the agenda. Communications and petitions, do we have any?
No.
All right. Mr. Mee, you had a question?
17-2026 Code Enforcement Fund. Until everybody has a chance that wants to, needs to talk to Gordon Groves, I'd like to put it back in finance. We're not forgetting it, we just want to put it back in finance to give everybody a chance to talk to Gordon Groves to see what his job is exactly. Because when he goes to court, he almost has to have a book with pictures for the judge to rule on it. So that's my motion.
Your motion is to send proposed ordinance 17-2026 back to the Finance Committee.
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion by Mr. Mee and a second by Mr. Spiegel. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same?
Aye.
Okay, just making sure. Is any other opposed other than Mr. Taylor? All right, motion carries. That will be sent back to Finance and not be read this evening.
Mr. Meyer, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Proposed legislation for the first time, 15-2026, appropriation of K-9, that's referred to, I have it on there as service. Should that be finance?
Yeah, if you look elsewhere in the agenda, it's correct. That's just a typo.
Okay, thank you.
But while you bring that piece up, I'll go ahead and mention it now. As an appropriation, the auditor needs that as an emergency. Otherwise, it takes about your 6 weeks of 3 readings and then the 30 days before that money can be moved and used. So I'll wait till we get to the consideration of legislation proposed for the first time, but I'm going to ask for a motion to move that forward as an emergency. All right, you said there are no communications and petitions?
No.
All right, and there are no special guests. Citizen participation.
Kurt Fankhauser, 1415 Michigan Drive. I am keeping my own timer for the 3 minutes, by the way. The trash truck purchase. I listened to that automatic loading arm. One thing I didn't hear was, what are you going to do when there's cars parked in front of the garbage container? I don't know. That's a very good question. But that's not the main reason I came up here. The main reason I came up here, I'm going to read this letter from Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost. It's in the very first page of the Ohio Sunshine Law Manual. Transparency and accountability are essential elements of good governance. As citizens, we have the right to know what our elected officials are doing and where our tax dollars are going. Ohio's sunshine laws serve as a pathway to public scrutiny, and that openness in turn helps discourage fraud and corruption. The 2025 edition of the manual, like previous versions, details both the rights of citizens to oversee their elected officials and duties of those officials to operate openly. I've got several public record requests that I've made. One, tomorrow will mark 2 weeks from, and that is the W-2s from last year's pay for all city employees. I'm still waiting on that. The auditor has provided me an email stating that she has sent it to the law director, and I have not heard back from the law director at this time. Other thing, Ohio Revised Code 733.62, it's called the annual report. It says the city director of law shall make a report to the legislative authority of the city at its first regular meeting in January of the business of his office. The monies by him collected during the year preceding, and such other matters as he deems proper to promote the good government and welfare of the city. Now, I served on council during January 2025. I don't ever remember seeing a law director annual report being presented to council. I made a public record request with the council clerk's office for the last 3 years' law director's reports, and I received response back from the council clerk that there is none. So seeing that this is a requirement in the Ohio Revised Code, our law director is not complying with, I'm calling for the immediate resignation of Law Director Brandon Gobrick for dereliction of duty and misfeasance and malfeasance in office. Thank you.
Any other public participation?
Greg White, 1125 Hillcrest Drive. Does council rules violate the U.S. Constitution and the Ohio Constitution? Yes, they do. There has been some recent rulings out of Texas that state that councils are violating this, and you all took oath of office to all that. Just want to point that out again. Not trying to repeat myself. I want to point it out personally. 2, the Tourism Bureau and the partnership. It has been stated that they are 501c3s, and we can't get their records. However, I've contacted state agencies because they should be filing as 501c6s because 50% of their funding comes from government body, and they're not doing this. And they also is violating their actual rules of procedure and their own bylaws. 3, the trash funding under Chapter 999. The rate table, we're only charging residents for $1 additional and commercial only additional $1. That seems kind of unfair to the residents that commercial are only doing this. Plus, we haven't changed that rate table yet of 931.03D. I've heard from a lot of people saying that the city's being ripped off because that table hasn't changed to meet what it should be. So if a company gets 12 extra dumps per year, they pay less than I do in a month. 4, when is the mistrust going to stop about issues with the administration and our government body? At the last special service meeting, basically, we were lied to. We were told there was going to be more information. What happened? They tried to sneak another one in, and I am totally against that. Things should be addressed in public. 5, is the mayor going to veto the issues of council that they want changed? Okay, I hope he doesn't. I hope he allows council to do what they need to do to save money and do what they have to do. This community needs leadership that is looking out for the taxpayer and the residents, and not unions or employees. We need someone who's going to stand up for us. Thank you.
Any other public participation?
James Cady, 1512 South Forest Drive. Hey, Brandon, I got a question for you. Last committee meeting that happened, Robbie brung up about the contract. All these years since they signed that contract, why has the city not gone after the union for failure to uphold a contract?
That's a
Because,
question for the administration.
okay, and because if I had a contract with the city and I didn't hold the contract, that had me in court, correct?
Not necessarily.
That's how contracts are written. I mean, I'm quite sure. And as I told Robbie out in the hallway, I appreciate what he's doing. I mean, I've been up here all last year saying, hey, save money. Quit spending money like it's wildfire. Been saying that. Nobody listened. Robbie, good looking out. Good upholding the citizens, man.
Any other public participation? All right, seeing none, committee reports, plating, Mr. Mead. Oh, my apologies.
Okay, I'll be very quickly. Clarissa Slater, 3645 State Route 4. Give me 1 second, I'm going to put my timer on as well, so I follow the rules here. Thank you. So I wanted to quickly address something that occurred today. I feel like a lot of the citizens don't realize how much time you all spend thinking about the decisions that you make. And I got to see that firsthand today, and so I want to share a few things. I wanted to say thank you to Mayor Truca and McKenna for considering me for an appointment. If people don't know, CRA is what I would be. It was the appointment for the Housing Council that was considered. I had a conversation today that included Kevin, and I believe Jim might have been consulting on the back end, but the meeting that I had was with McKenna, Bruce, Kevin, and McKenna. During that meeting, we discussed the success of the future of the Housing Council and the CRA. We're worried about bringing in funding. We're worried about bringing in jobs. This is a great way to bring in jobs, and I don't want to see anything happen to that. We need a housing council that is focused on professional and is focused on being professional and insulated from external distractions. There's a lot of distractions on this side of the aisle, as many of you know. Current concerns were raised that because of my bold stances and the attention that they bring, that individuals who do not care if we get good jobs here in Bucyrus and are instead of focused on distractions, that they may not be very ecstatic to hear that I was appointed. I very much would like to be involved. However, if accepting would result in the projects being sabotaged like they have been attempted before, or the city being financially harmed, I cannot in good conscience accept your appointment. I appreciate it very much, but I can't accept it. Economic development should never be collateral damage to a political conflict. So I am personally asking if there are individuals in the community that are in professional roles that are interested to please reach out to individuals, maybe to McKenna personally, and see if we're able to get a group together. It's important. There's really a possibility for growth in that department, and I really want to see it succeed. This isn't me just taking a stance to look like a martyr. It's simply just the fact that transparency comes from having these types of conversations and letting the public know what's going on. Thank you.
Any other citizen participation? Seeing none, committee reports, plating, Mr. Me.
No report.
Any questions for the plating committee? Public lands and buildings, Mr. Thidoff.
No report.
Any questions for Mr. Thidoff? Health and safety, Mr. Taylor.
No report.
Any questions for health and safety? Finance, Mr. Me.
No report.
Any questions for finance? Economic development, Mrs. Leclerc.
No report.
Any questions for economic development? Service, Mr. Moritz.
Sounds weird saying this, but no report.
Yeah, you don't have like any 900s or anything to talk about. Any questions for service? All right, Traffic Commission, Mayor Trucca.
Yes, we had a meeting today, this afternoon, we had a meeting. I'll just go down through what was on our old business, new business. Old business, we closed that. It was talking about Ethel Street. We had a traffic problem at the very end of Ethel Street. Ray Thidoff had mentioned it seemed like it was being taken care of, it was better. Brandon Gobrick, he resolved the issue, so we chose to close that issue. South Sandusky Avenue lane reduction, that was the turn lane that went from up there at the bank, the First Federal Community Bank on Sandusky Street all the way out to Beale Avenue. Past Consul had requested a traffic study, so the administration ordered a traffic study, and what came out of it is that it would be okay to do away with that center turn lane, but keep the turn lane at Southern Avenue and also keep the turn lane at Beale Avenue. So that has been resolved and we closed that issue. The one-way traffic on South Walnut from Southern Avenue to Beale Avenue, there was discussion about that again, and chose to keep it one way. The idea is that the street narrows between Kilbourne and Southern Avenue. The only other way you would do that is take off all the parking off the west side of Walnut. And there was only two people, there was two people that were interested in it, that requested it, and so chose, it was a chosen thing that we took that off the table as well. We talked about Spots Rolling Bean Coffee. There was some concern when they first, as they were just opening, there was concern that maybe there would be too much backup in their drive-through.
Mayor's that the one next door to you?
And that's the next door neighbor, and there's really no problems that has arisen from that. We are very happy to have them here. And then there was new business. Part of new business was it was brought to our attention about the parking situation at the hospital on Walnut Street. There was always in the past, it was a 15-minute parking
Courthouse.
I'm sorry, golly. Well, I get, okay, sorry.
At least we're listening.
Yeah, at least you're listening to them, at least you picked up on it. The biggest thing is it was 15-minute parking, always in the past. It was on the honor system. Everybody that would park there in that 15-minute parking space would, try to reduce their amount of time they were in the courthouse. We invited the commissioners to the meeting. Commissioner Lay is the one that showed up. He stated that they would be willing to go ahead and entertain the idea of having a handicap parking space closest to the fire hydrant there on Walnut Street. Had brought up that it's really almost impossible. It is impossible for the Bucyrus Police Department to drive around the block every 20 minutes to see if someone has been there for 15 minutes. And so that was one of the things that we brought up. And the commissioners are okay with the idea of just doing away with the 15-minute parking, do away with the 2-hour parking. I mean, it is what it is. We just don't have the manpower. We can't expect the police department to be the persons or the people that have to entertain that. What the other part of the solution is that the commissioners, through Matt Crawl, they said that they would come up with some type of internal parking prohibitive way of, as brought up, is that what happens, okay, if the courthouse employees start parking there the entire day, how will you handle it? And the county commissioners stated that they'll handle that internally through a policy decision on their part. And then as far as us being able to go ahead and remove the 15-minute parking spots, we could probably do that as a traffic commission, being that you can do something as a traffic commission now on a 30-day trial. What I would like to have it done is refer it to Health and Safety Committee to entertain the idea of doing away with the 15-minute, not have 2-hour parking or anything like that. Park there as you so see fit, and also entertain the idea that the Health and Safety Committee would be willing to look at having at least one handicap space closest to the ramp. The ramp, there's a ramp that goes along the building, which is close to where the fire hydrant is. Put a handicap spot there, with the idea maybe in the future, maybe 6 months down the road or a year, whatever, is to look at entertaining maybe a second handicap parking spot that's heavily traveled during tax season. You got a lot of old people. Our population keeps on getting older and older, and it would be beneficial to maybe look at, accommodating the people who want to vote, pay their taxes, get their dog license, whatever. So, but that'll be a health and safety topic, I believe.
Okay, so the mayor has a request to refer 3 separate topics to health and safety, one being the courthouse 15-minute parking, one being the citywide downtown 2-hour parking, and the other being a handicap parking at the courthouse. Do I have a motion to make those referrals to health and safety?
So moved. Second.
All right, before I take a vote, Mary, you had something else to say?
Oh, I was only entertaining the idea of the 2-hour parking at the courthouse because that's all it was referred to.
Okay, so you're saying to turn that into 2-hour parking like the rest of the downtown?
Yeah, and something that we can't enforce even at 2 hours.
Yeah, that was, because that's something that I was going to ask about at one time. We have the 2-hour parking in the downtown, but we can't and don't enforce it. So do we, is it worth having a law in the books that we're not going to enforce? So, I mean, maybe discuss about all that.
Sure.
So, Mr. Taylor, your motion's to send courthouse parking, 2-hour parking, and the courthouse handicap to health and safety with a second from Mr. Me.
That's
All
great.
right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Those 3 referrals are made. Do I have a motion to accept the committee reports collectively?
Second.
Is that you?
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't.
You're fine.
May I entertain the idea of talking about the planning commission?
Can you do that in the mayor's report,
Okay,
which is in about 30 seconds?
okay.
All right. So, Mr. Stiddoff, that was you that made the motion?
That's Allison.
Oh, I'm sorry. And Chris, you made the second, correct?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Reports of city officers. Mayor Truca.
Okay, we had a planning commission. I might have to have Greg White help me out a little bit here. Planning Commission, we had met to speak about the South Sandusky Avenue property out west of Cyrus Blades. It's a zoning reclassification at 1428 South Sandusky Avenue. What it was is it was limited industrial commercial LIC, and we were looking at changing it to a suburban residential R1 to allow Mr. Keith to build a home at that location. And so we had spoke to that, and there was some recommendations by Planning Commission what to do with, there's a street to the north side of his property. It's called Superior Street, and then there was also an alley that goes behind Mr. Keith's property to the east. Even though we're Planning Commission, we cannot make that recommendation. Technically, we can't make the recommendation. We are only talking about the rezoning part, but we are urging maybe the property owner to consider, maybe it would be beneficial to that individual to petition the city to go ahead and close Superior Street. That way, what that would help is once the sewer line is straightened out, it would also provide more property to Mr. Keith and to the individual to the north. And then there's a north-south alley, and it would help with setbacks as well. As when he goes to build a home, it will help with his setbacks. And so,
street, right?
Pardon?
There was a street too.
Yeah, Superior Street
Superior.
was the one that runs east and west. That's on the north side of the property. And then there's an alley on the east side of Mr. Keith's property that runs north and south. And so just more or less passing the information along to that individual that maybe he would consider something like that. It would be beneficial for him. So that was that on that property. We looked at property at the Sunoco station at the point of Hopley and Walnut Street. That business right now is wanting to expand their business to include a drive-through, and so we went ahead and it's currently residential R3. There's a limitation by expanding. Now they could only expand themselves by 50% of what their original business size is, but if we would go ahead and change them to a downtown business designation, there was a lot of discussion about that, and the Planning Commission was unanimous on this, is that by opening it up to a downtown business on drive-through, you could have drive-throughs anywhere in the downtown business. And so they went ahead and put a stipulation on it that it would be a conditional use. That way you can look at each individual business that wants to have a drive-through. It would be looked at in the downtown business area as that way you can review it without just opening the floodgates. So that was discussed. And Mr. White, you're going to have to help me on the third. I guess there was there was two topics all with that Sunoco station.
Yeah, you covered everything.
Okay, I covered it. Okay.
There was the gas stations.
Well, that was the Sunoco thing where you,
No, that was Sunoco's over here. The other gas stations that are in GB doesn't allow gas stations, right? Downtown business.
Oh, currently in the downtown business district, in the codified ordinance, it does not make any reference to gas stations being allowed. So that's why we're adding that.
So your recommendation on that?
Conditional, that way the committee could look at it, planning commission, to look at it on a case-by-case basis. So that's all I have.
Anything else mayoral-wise?
Not that's, no.
Okay. Any questions for the mayor? I've got one. Late in the day, I had heard, I just wanted to ask for some clarification, that there's apparently a problem with the stage at the art park. Somebody said that it was declared unsafe. Is that correct?
Not that we have heard.
Not that we've heard.
Okay.
I will check into that tomorrow, though.
The one thing that we did hear recently is that we heard about property at the old Telegraph Farm, correct? Was it?
That was a telegraph form. There was bricks falling out.
Yeah, I saw that. Somebody had mentioned that somebody wanted to put a new top on the roof, and you guys have told them no because of it.
Oh, okay, sure. We went ahead, about a year or so ago, we went ahead, and the problem with the art park downtown, the art park, the roof on it is a vinyl roof. We don't have the equipment or the manpower to go ahead and put the vinyl roof on it in the spring. Then you gotta turn around and take the vinyl roof off in the fall. It has to be stored. The top is it's irreparable. It needs a new top on the stage downtown. We had lots of vandalism at it, a year ago, when someone took a knife and sliced the back side of it. We turned around and had it repaired. Then they turned around and sliced it the second time. They cut the vinyl on the front part of the stage, and then a lot of people were utilizing it every day. They were laying there and running their fans and their radios and their cell phones underneath the stage, so then we had to turn around and lock all the electrical boxes up and keep them locked all the time. And so then we had talked to a local businessman here in town. He stated that he would be willing to maybe help us with putting a metal skirting on the front of it, and maybe putting a metal roof on the top of it. Well, after checking into it for engineering purposes, the stage itself is not strong enough to support any type of snow load. It was originally built, came from the college in Mansfield, and it was donated to the city. It was painted and re-erected here locally, and so the biggest thing is that you could buy a new vinyl top and still continue to hire someone to put it up and take it down and then store it, but it would be nice to be able to have some type of campaign where we could structurally have some engineered drawings done and have some type of structure that would more or less fit within or around the outside edges of the current stage, and put a metal roof on it so you could utilize it year-round, and have some type of metal skirting on the bottom side, and that way it would do away with all the vandalism.
That clears up a lot of the story. Thank you.
And so then I chose to keep the lighting on down there on the stage. So the lighting's been on for probably 8 months now. And, you gotta worry about vandalism.
All right. Any other questions for the mayor? Service Director, Mr. Starner.
Thanks, Mr. President. Sorry I did not have an official report. I'd like to refer the Westler proposal for the sewage treatment plant back to service. They are going to come April 9th and talk to us about a different proposal, since the EPA will not allow us to build right now, because they need the long-term control plan, so they want to propose something else to us prior to getting that approved.
So need a motion to send the Westler proposal of service.
Second.
Motion's by Mr. Spiegel, second by Mr. Me. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Anything else, Mr. Turner?
Yes, sir. We're going to open the compost pile back up on the 16th of March. We got all the other compost out of there, so it's time to open it back up.
Monday through Friday, Monday through Monday?
It'll be Monday through Friday. It says 8 to 3 or 8 to 2, but it's normally when they get there at 7 and close it at 3. So,
Okay.
but 8 to 2 is the official hours.
And that's 7 days a week or 5 days a week?
5 days a week for the winter time.
Okay, and then when will it open on the weekends?
I'm gonna guess like May, June.
Okay. And we can put all that on the city's
Yep.
website, Facebook page?
Yep, I already
Awesome,
told
thanks.
Bonnie, so I didn't have to remember that for tomorrow.
Okay, any questions?
And I got one more thing.
Go ahead.
The bidding for the north end fire station ends the 18th. That's when we open the bids up. So if anybody's interested in bidding on that, definitely get your bid in. So
You'll accept bids until what time, right up until the bid opening?
10 o'clock, yep.
Okay.
I think it's 10 o'clock. I shouldn't have said that out loud.
What was the date?
The 18th. But it's on the flyer, or on the,
Any questions for the service director? All right. The auditor's unable to be here this evening, and she did not provide any report. We don't have a treasurer's report. Chief Dorsey? No report. Chief Schwemley? No report. Law Director Goby?
No report.
No report. Need a motion to accept the city officers' reports collectively?
So,
Motion by Mr. Me, second by Mr. Scott. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Any citizen input regarding reports of city officers?
Trying to get my stopwatch going. Kurt Fankhauser, 1415 Michigan Drive. I'm disappointed that the auditor's not here because I was anticipating hearing the income tax revenue for February to see how we are compared to February of last year, to see if it's went up or down, because at the last, I don't know if it was the last meeting or last couple meetings, she reported that January, we have seen a decline in income tax revenue compared to the prior year, which if that's a trend that's starting, then the city is entering into the phase of decreased revenues, which could potentially be very disastrous with the current budget situation. So that's it, thanks.
All right, thank you. She is ill today, for the record. Any other citizen input? All right, consideration of legislation proposed for the first time. So at this point, I would entertain a motion to amend proposed ordinance 15-2026 to request it as an emergency, and then to amend the agenda to include it in the further consideration of pending legislation.
so
Second.
Is that still in service?
No.
It's gone finance.
Finance.
I was gonna say it still says service or what?
Yep, that's a typo. Okay, motion by Mr. Me, second by Mr. Spiegel. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same.
yeah, don't worry, Chris, I got that one.
That's what I was
Yeah.
saying. Switch it again.
All right, consideration of legislation proposed for the first time. So for the 15-2026, the one that's
Yeah.
listed as an emergency would be the one that we want to read.
Proposed ordinance 15-2026, amending and supplementing ordinance number 48-2025, being the annual appropriations ordinance for 2026 by appropriating unappropriated general funds the sum of $21,500 to the capital outlay line item within the police department category within the program 1, security of persons and properties, subparagraph, and declaring an emergency.
Proposed ordinance number 16-2026, amending and supplementing ordinance number 48-2025, being the annual appropriations ordinance for 2026, by decreasing the personal service line item by $120,000 within the fire department category within the safety forces levy subparagraph.
Proposed ordinance number 17-2026,
Now,
amending.
that has been
Yeah,
pulled,
that
I'm
was-
sorry, I didn't catch it in
Oh.
time. That's been pulled.
Sorry, there we go. 2, 15. Proposed resolution number 215-2026, a resolution declaring the intent of the city of Bucyrus to dispose of personal property and equipment as having become obsolete, unnecessary, or unfit for city use through internet auctions during the calendar year 2026, and declaring that this resolution shall take effect retroactively as of January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026, and declaring an emergency.
Proposed resolution number 216-2026, a resolution authorizing and directing the Service Safety Director on behalf of the City of Bucyrus to enter an agreement with the company known as Arcadis and sign any documents necessary therein to implement a long-term control plan for the ongoing wastewater treatment plant construction project and declaring an emergency.
I need a motion to accept those as their first readings. Hear a motion by Mr. Taylor and a second by Mr. Spiegel. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Consideration of legislation proposed for the second time.
Proposed resolution number 214-2026, authorizing and directing the Public Service Safety Director of the City of Bucyrus, Ohio, to ban all vehicular traffic, including bicycles, skateboards, except authorized emergency personnel for the 2026 Bucyrus Bratwurst Festival, according to the schedule set forth herein. Further authorizing and directing the Chief of Police to make necessary arrangements for the rerouting of traffic on federal, state, and local highways and roadways.
Need a motion to accept that as its second reading.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Taylor, second by Mrs. Leclerc. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Consideration of legislation proposed for the final time.
Proposed ordinance 3-2026, amending and supplementing Chapter 913 entitled Water Pipes and Mains under the Title III entitled Water, under Part 9 entitled Streets, Utilities, and Public Service Code of the codified ordinances of the City of Bucyrus.
Proposed resolution number 210-2026, a resolution authorizing and directing the Service Safety Director on behalf of the City of Bucyrus to enter into a lease agreement with the Aero Squadron Post 117 and Aero Squadron number 117 for the use and enjoyment of the following discarded property.
Need a motion to accept those as the final reading.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Taylor, second by Mrs. Leclerc. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Citizen feedback. Any member of the public may present their input or comments on legislation that has been read this evening.
Fankhauser, 1415 Michigan Drive. I would like to voice my support for Resolution 215-2026, the internet auctions. I had notified the council clerk about a month ago that that needed passed annually so that the city could continue to sell stuff on Gov Deals. And the city definitely needs any of the money that they can get right now from selling stuff on Gov Deals. So just wanted to voice my support in that.
Thank you, and I appreciate you catching that and notifying her. Any other citizen participation on legislation? All right, seeing none, referring back to the originating committee, proposed ordinance 3-2026 is referred back to service. Proposed ordinance 15-2026 as amended is referred back to finance. Proposed ordinance 16-2026 referred back to finance. Resolution 210-2026 referred to public lands and buildings. Proposed resolution 214-2026 referred back to health and safety. Proposed resolution 215-2026 is referred back to finance. and proposed resolution 216-2026 is referred back to service. Committee reports on pending legislation. We'll start with service.
Service is in favor of proposed ordinance 3, 2026, chapter 900, title 913. Service is in favor of proposed resolution 216-2026, long-term control plan.
Finance.
Proposed ordinance 15-2026,
As amended.
as amended as an emergency, is favorable. Proposed ordinance 16-2026, reappropriation of fire funds, is favorable. Proposed resolution 210-2020, that's public lands and buildings. Proposed resolution 215-2026, internet auctions, were favorable.
Public lands and buildings, since Mr. Me didn't steal that from you.
Public lands and buildings is favorable to proposed resolution 210-2026, that being the lease renewal for Aero Squadron number 117.
Last but not least, health and safety.
Health and safety is favorable for proposed resolution 214-2026, the Bratwurst Festival road closures.
Further consideration of pending legislation for the second and third readings of proposed ordinance 215-2026, which is internet auctions. Do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, waive the reading of the caption and text, and declare an emergency?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Me and a second by Mr. Taylor.
Mr. Me?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Thidoff?
Yes.
Mr. Moritz?
Yes. Yes.
Mrs. Leclerc?
Yes.
Mr. Spiegel?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Do I hear a motion to adopt proposed ordinance 215-2026?
So moved.
Second.
I hear a motion by Mr. Spiegel and a second by Mr. Scott.
Mr. Spiegel?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Me?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Thidoff?
Yes.
Mr. Moritz?
Yes.
And Mrs. Leclerc?
Yes.
Ordinance 215-2026 is duly adopted. For the second, third readings of proposed ordinance that'd be resolution. Proposed resolution 216-2026, the long-term control plan. Do I hear a motion to suspend the rules for the second, third readings? Do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, waive the reading of caption and text, and declare an emergency?
Make a motion for that.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Moritz and a second by Mr. Taylor.
Mr. Moritz?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Thidoff?
Yes.
Mrs. Leclerc?
Yes.
Mr. Spiegel?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Me?
Yes.
Do I hear a motion to adopt resolution 216-2026?
So
I'll make a
moved.
motion for that.
I hear a motion from Mr. Taylor and a second from Mr. Moritz.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Moritz?
Yes.
Mrs. Leclerc?
Yes.
Mr. Spiegel?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Me?
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Mr. Thidoff?
Yes.
You don't judge us this time.
Resolution 216-2026 is duly adopted. Just for a point of clarification, I was reading off of the agenda and I read ordinance number, and that was resolution number 215-2026, internet auctions, just to clarify. For the second, third readings of proposed ordinance 15-2026 as amended, do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, waive the reading of caption and text, and declare an emergency?
Yes.
So moved.
I hear a motion by Mr. Me and a second by Mr. Taylor. You want me to do this since you don't have it?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Me?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Thidoff?
Yes.
Mr. Moritz?
Yes.
Mrs. Leclerc?
Yes.
Mr. Spiegel?
What are we doing?
You are
K-9
making a motion for the K-9 appropriations ordinance 15-2026,
We had to change.
which we voted on already to amend the,
Okay. Yes.
okay, and Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Do I hear a motion to adopt proposed ordinance 15-2026?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Taylor and a second by Mr. Scott. Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Me?
Yes.
Mr. Thidoff?
Yes.
Mr. Moritz?
Yes.
Mrs. Leclerc?
Yes.
Mr. Spiegel?
Yes.
All right, ordinance 15-2026 is duly adopted. For the final reading on, well, we had the final reading on proposed ordinance 3-2026. Do I hear a motion to adopt?
Yes.
So moved.
Mr. Moritz, I heard you first, and Mr. Taylor, I got you as a second.
Mr. Moritz?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Fidoff?
Yes.
Mrs. LeClaire?
Yes.
Mr. Spiegel?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Me?
Yes.
And ordinance 3-2026 is duly adopted. And then on proposed resolution 210-2026, do I hear a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
I hear a motion by Mr. Taylor and a second by Mr. Spiegel.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Spiegel?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Me?
Yes.
Mr. Fidoff?
Yes.
Mr. Moritz?
Yes.
Mrs. LeClaire?
Yes.
Resolution 210-2026 is duly adopted. Does anyone have any old and unfinished business they would like to bring up?
I do.
Mr. Taylor, the floor is yours.
So I had last committee meeting of health and safety, it was the fire code was brought up, and that was a surprise to me. I had no idea on that thing. And also the food trucks, and the past week I have had correspondence with the fire chief. I'm hoping Thursday, if you're available for the committee meeting, to move that, if you could be here to help me move that out of committee so we can move on with both of those.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. What else did I have?
Make sure those are on his agenda for Thursday.
That's it?
Through a conversation we had earlier, I think this will go under new and miscellaneous business, but while
Oh,
you're
yeah.
speaking, you had mentioned that you wanted to have a referral for data centers to the Health and Safety Committee?
I got that wrote down right here, but it's beyond, I put it in the wrong spot again.
Well, I
Yeah,
actually just brought it up in the wrong spot, so you can make that motion now, or we can wait till new business.
yeah, I'd go ahead and make a motion to send to talk about the EPA, the Ohio EPA and the chance that they may allow these data centers to start dumping untreated water into Ohio waterways. Now, clearly, we don't have any authority over the Ohio EPA, but I think it would be prudent for us, not only as an elected body, but just as a community, to voice our concerns about this. And given the nature of how much money the EPA is about to make this community spend in the name of clean water, I don't think that we can just sit here and take this and not at least voice our concerns that they're going to allow data centers to dump.
Is that
Dirty.
without being treated?
Yes, untreated.
I
That
bet they're
they're
treated, I bet they're treated on site.
no.
No, actually,
From
what's
what-
been in the news lately, sorry to step on your
No, go
toes,
ahead.
is they have they want to lower the standards to
Yes.
make it cheaper and easier for these data centers to
And-
operate, while you're paying a higher electric bill.
And they're putting it under the umbrella of economic
Yeah.
sustainability.
I want to commend you, because I think that's something that it's very prudent that we're going to talk about it now, rather than when you have somebody knocking on the door saying, we want
Absolutely.
to build this, you know.
And that's another aspect of that conversation is, as a community, do we want to look at putting something in place to not allow data centers in our community? That's just another aspect of the conversation that probably needs to take place.
It's not a big employment.
Well, no, it's not. There's no economic upside to us other than the initial build. That's it, construction jobs.
All right, so a motion to refer data centers to health and safety by Mr. Taylor. Do I hear a second? Mr. Me has a second on that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Any other old and unfinished business, Mayor?
I'm not real sure I brought it up right now. On part of my traffic commission, did I mention handicap?
You
At the
did.
courthouse?
No, handicap parking, besides handicap parking at the courthouse.
You did not.
Okay, well, we had an individual here, a couple meetings ago, come and speak to us about handicap parking. We brought that up, we talked about that today. There actually is a process already on the books. When handicap, if anybody would request which this individual is requesting a handicap parking spot, there's actually a form. You come to City Hall, talk to Tommy Starner. There's actually a form that is provided to the individual that would like to be considered for a handicap parking spot. And there's a series of questions that need to be answered, and some proof of the state of Ohio registrar has a designation that you're handicapped or you're not. And then the committee had made mention of it. It mentions it, I think, even in the existing piece, that it's just, you have to understand, if you actually have a handicap spot put in front of your house, doesn't mean that it's for Mr. and Mrs. Smith 100% of the time. If someone lives a couple doors down from you and they happen to have a handicap sticker, they're entitled to that parking spot too, so.
Do you need any action from council, or you just?
No, I just idea that, you know, we can maybe convey the information to the individual and his mother and get something started.
And Tommy did give me the forms. I'll reach out to Mr. Reeves and get him started on that process. But thank you. Thank both of you.
Any other old and unfinished business? New and miscellaneous business, Mr. Thidoff.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to refer the new walking trails at Home Miller Park to public lands and buildings.
I'll make that motion to refer the walking.
He made the motion, you want to second it?
Second it, that's what I meant.
Thanks, Robert.
All right, I have a motion by Mr. Thidoff and a second by Mr. Taylor to refer the walking trail of Hall Miller Park to public lands and buildings. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. That carries. Any other new and miscellaneous business? Okay.
Since Ray brought it up, I would also like to entertain the idea that the new walking path is we're trying to start here before long, construction, and I'd like to invite service organizations or any individual that would entertain the idea of maybe helping put concrete pads with park benches around this walking path. They've been received quite well for the Park District, Crawford Park District benches, and so we had briefly spoke about it today. We're looking at is having a concrete pad that would set off the side of the path, butt up against the path, with the idea of having a park bench for people to be able to sit.
Similar to what's at the end of Southern Avenue on the road that goes back to the bridge, there's a bicycle repair station and a bench right there that's got a concrete pad.
The Unger Park Trail has benches.
That's right.
You know what, Bruce, do you know what the price of those benches would be?
We didn't get a chance today to look that up afterwards. We were in meetings all day.
Well, it's
But
up to the civic organization to pour the pad to, or the city gonna pour those?
We would have
For the project.
we would go ahead and have the contractor, we've identified the different areas
Okay.
where, and the contractor would actually pour the pad and
Okay.
but
I think they're just.
it would be up
civic group
to,
give
what
them
we're
money.
hoping is the civic organization would be willing to pay for the concrete.
How many do you want to sign the Lions Club up for?
I don't know. I can't talk about it.
All right. Mr. Scott?
It was brought up in the last council term and it kind of got thrown out. I would like to, I believe it's platting, correct me if I'm wrong, I would like to refer tiny homes back to platting. It was last year, last term.
It's actually in
Or is it,
the ad hoc right
is
now.
that in the ad hoc? Okay.
So,
Are you content leaving it in ad hoc right now, or do you want to have plating have any discussion? The fact that it's in,
We can just discuss it in platting on Thursday if it's
so
in.
we need a referral.
so you're making a motion for referral to send it to
Yes, I'll make that
plating?
motion to refer to platting with tiny homes.
I'll second that.
Motion's by Mr. Scott, second by Mr. Mead to send tiny homes to plating. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same? That motion carries. Any other new business? Going once, going twice. Nobody needs excused. Okay, referrals, we've got looks like the data centers to health and safety, the Westler proposal to service, courthouse parking, 2-hour parking, and courthouse handicap parking to health and safety, the walking trail to All Miller Park to public lands and buildings, and tiny homes to plating. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. President.
Oh,
You've got your moving 17-2026 back to finance.
that's not a referral.
Mr. President, I just wanted to make a comment real quick.
Go right ahead.
I wanted to thank whoever put the new barricades up around the old Swan building on Mansfield Street. They added, I'm assuming it was the new owners, they added like an 8-foot tall fencing around the existing barrels that were there and totally blocked off that sidewalk. So I want to thank them.
Is there any further update on the progress on that building that you guys have to share?
We went ahead and put concrete things on the
There's
ends.
barriers on the end and then the
Yeah.
fencing around it.
So the sidewalk really is closed now?
Yeah. So there is some movement.
All right. Motion to adjourn, I'll entertain.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's by Mr. Taylor, second by Mrs. Leclerc to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. We're adjourned at 7:01.